in tournament, and then there's a possibility.
Which they've never won it.
Okay, well, that stops that, baby.
So
Bye-bye.
Here's what we So long, everybody. Here's what we do know. It's Selection Sunday is this weekend, also known as the only time we see Greg Gumbel all year. Liberty, Loyola Chicago, Morehead State, and Winthrop, they're all in. So it's a weird year. Is it going to work? Sounds like it. I don't know. Who could win?
Well, see, I still think that your top four, your number one seeds, which it would be Gonzaga, Michigan. I'm blanking on the other two, but I think they will be there at the end in the Final Four. I just think that the Illinois is one.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think that the top 8 teams will be the top 8 in that round. I just don't think any of the rest of those teams have a shot, unfortunately. I know CBS doesn't want to hear that, and TNN and whatever else network, the Joker Network, whatever it is, going to be covering that stuff.
There's no Joker Network, man. There's no Joker Network.
True TV.
There's Spike, TNT, TBS. There's no Joker.
And there's
Spike doesn't even exist anymore, right? Didn't that become Paramount? Or I don't know,
man. I don't know. That commercial,
Loyola Marymount.
That commercial where Nora O'Donnell's standing next to, Bruce Willis.
Beavis Tower,
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis Butthead.
I love that. That Beavis and Butthead were the best part of it. They were like the most natural.
And I think Jake from State Farm's in that commercial too. All right, but you read about some of these contingency plans, like let's say the 8th seed can't play and you forfeit a game, you plug in a team that's waiting on the bubble. How's this going to work?
Well, I think it'll just be interesting. I mean, just because, say, Duke, which is going to be on the outside to make the NIT, what happens if all of a sudden Duke gets plugged in, or UK?
UK is going nowhere. They're going nowhere.
Well, that last game of theirs, man, the guys showed up and they were hitting it. So they've got talent. They're just not a team. So,
man, you were talking some coach talk tonight, man. They're not a team. They got talent. What is that?
Well, individually, they're a rum of their parts or something.
If you start saying we came to play, that I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here.
Well,
I will at least give Lugs this. Unlike IU in the Big Ten tournament, UK does have a history of winning the SEC tournament. So that there is a chance. Obviously, that's their only chance, but they at least have a chance.
When you give a person a lifetime contract, no cut, basically you're saying, hey, dude, we don't care. The Big Blue Nation, they're all going crazy. I mean, they've censured Matt Jones, so yeah, because he was not supporting Calipari enough. It's kind of like the Donald Trump syndrome almost. So, is that Matt? Because I was expecting him. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Lugs, I got a question for you. That Greg Gumbel, does he wear a hairpiece, a rug, or is that his own hair? I'll hang up. List your answer. Bye.
Well, that's actually a piece of AstroTurf from the old stadium there in New Orleans that they salvaged after Katrina. But it really dyed up real nice. So,
Dye, D-I-E-D or D-Y-E-D? Which way did it go? Anyway.
It one way or the other, Let's get back to, U of L now is either a 10 or a 12 seed, I depending on whose bracket you look at.
Mm-hmm.
Western Kentucky's in it. They're probably going to be a 12 seed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some representation here. U of L probably will lose in the first round because they don't have a center. They really try hard, and but they just don't have the horses. So not much hope for local teams in the big tournament.
And is Archie done at IU? T-Dog.
He should be. I think the only thing that might save him is the buyout. But you look at what he's done in his first 4 years. 2017, 18 season, 16 and 15, 2018, 19, 19 and 16, 2019 and 20. He was 20 and 12. And this year he's 12 and 14. And they finished 7 and 12 in the Big Ten. Now, people could say that the Big Ten was tough this year, which is true. But considering the amount of money, the amount of assets, the amount of resources that Indiana has, for you to be 4 years in and to be this poor, there's no excuses. This is not Indiana football good story where what Tom Allen did is impressive, considering the talent doesn't have a lot of great in-state talent. In terms of basketball, Indiana has a lot of great in-state talent they haven't been able to utilize. And just the problems with the team is that they can't shoot. They can't really play defense that well, and they can't make free throws. Those are pretty important to winning games.
Yeah, you kind of need those. But this being an asterisk year for everybody, COVID-19, is he going to get a pass? Really?
Well, to be fair to your point, that's a good point. I think the thing is like with Calipari, this was a bad year for UK, and obviously it happened a few years ago when they went to the NIT. But you look at he's won a championship. They've gone to multiple deep runs in the tournament. And just how I think college basketball is, particularly how UK does it, sometimes you get all these one-year players and you roll a bunch of snake eyes. A lot of times you don't. Like, it's fine. Duke, considering the track record of Krzyzewski, it's weird. It's fine. You look at what Archie's done before COVID happened, it was mediocre. So he doesn't get to be the exception like those. He's not anywhere close to being in their ranks. So, no, I don't think he should get a pass.
Well, and he's lost that team has lost 9 times to Purdue. Think about that.
Yeah.
Matt Painter. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And,
Shouldn't happen.
And they only have one great player. That's the thing is, like, if you look at them most outside of Trace Jackson Davis, you look at most of the teams that go up against the Big Ten, they have better players just starting.
Oh, yeah.
That's Archie. That's and also just guys didn't develop. Franklin is their only outside shooter, and he missed the last few games of the season. So that totally hosed them where they didn't have shooting to begin with.
So in a strange year, Illinois is going to carry the Big Ten banner, huh? That's you don't hear that every year. For Illinois to be way above Indiana's time, that's something unheard of.
Well, and Illinois is ranked a little bit better than Ohio State, which is usually a pretty good team as well. So,
actually, I'm glad you brought that up, J-Boy, because also the head coaches of Illinois and Ohio State, they were brought in the same year as Archie.
Good point.
And you look at where Ohio State is, and you look at where Illinois is. They had 4 years, and they turned around. Juwan Howard just had 2 years, and look what he's done with Michigan.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Well, I think that comes down to just recruiting, the ability to recruit players who play your system. I'm not sure that Archie has a system. It's just baffling.
I'll admit, just from reading certain reporters, I'm not smart enough to really notice college basketball offenses that well, but just from reading a guy who I guess writes mainly about Indiana on SI, it seems like the big thing that you're kind of alluding to is most of the teams in Big Ten know their offense. So when you don't have a lot of talent and teams notice the small pattern of what your offense is, that's trouble. So.
Oh yeah, they can defend it going and coming. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but you were talking about his buyout. Archie's getting like what 3.1 mil a year, or it's a healthy chunk of change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say they bite the bullet and his buyout is what 50? Is it 50 million?
I think the buyout's like 10.
10?
It's 10 million. But it's just
okay.
It's just obviously during this pandemic, it's a bad look, and Also, historically, you got to look at it this way. Historically, going back to the Bobby Knight thing, this is the school that made sure to show like academics. I'm not going to say this is true or not, but they made a spectacle of it when Miles Brand fired Bobby Knight.
Right.
The school institution comes first above athletics, and they would be going against that to some extent. So
Yeah.
Well, Godspeed, Archie. We hope you do well.
Yeah, I was going to say, who do you bring in?
That to be fair to you on that one is the harder question. But you're right. You shouldn't fire a guy without knowing who you're getting. I don't know who will take it on at this point.
Who's the coach at Dayton now? Okay. Hey, something new. We're gonna give away prizes tonight. The big prize swag bag is open tonight. We're going to spin the wheel for fabulous prizes. We're going to give the wheel a big spin. Here we go.
All right.
Do we have a winner?
We do. It's Cindy from Mount Prospect, Illinois. She is a loyal listener of the podcast, and she's from John Hersey High School, matriculated also at University of Iowa, where she was in the marching band, and also was voted most likely to grow rhubarb in a window box. So congratulations,
wow. I
Cindy.
did not know that was a category. But yes, congratulations to Cindy. She's our big winner today. We'll be sending out that prize pack, sometime.
Yeah, well, Fish is going to be on later with the announcement of what Cindy gets in the swag bag.
That's right. I forgot Fish will make an appearance. Okay, guys. Well, that's a big deal for us on the Sport Weasels, sports and other stuff. What else to talk about? Anything else before we close this off?
About Tom Brady's rookie card.
What?
$1 million.
Ooh.
What?
I just got to say real quick, not that we should go into it that long. I don't know if you know Josh Gordon, who obviously with all his drug problems is now not in the NFL. He's a part of a league now that is fan-controlled football.
Yes, I heard about that.
And Johnny Manziel's in it too. Wow, this thing works out is just incredible.
And allegedly, they pay everybody off with their favorite drug at the end of the game. No salary.
No, don't say.
I said allegedly.
No, there's the field is 50 yards long.
Not an actual
play clock. 7-on-7, 20-minute halves. No, you haven't got to the craziest part. Fans call the plays.
Wow.
It's through Twitch mainly. So fans call the plays.
Twitch.
Here's the craziest part where this is almost unethical, to be quite honest with you. The teams aren't stable. The rosters are drafted each Wednesday, and they play on Saturday. Teams have two players franchise. Like the Zappers have Johnny Manziel. He's franchise, so he's on the team week to week. But other than that, like the rosters rotate between the four.
And don't the coaches coach multiple teams?
I don't know if they have coaches. Like I said, I think the fans. You might be right. I mean, but here's the funniest part. The four teams are the Beasts, who are owned by Marshawn Lynch.
Love it.
And then also a professional wrestler, Miro, of AEW. The Wild Aces, the Zappers, and the Glacier Boys, who's owned by a member of the group Migos and Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
This is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
And it's going to be on Spike.
Wouldn't you like to be at the board meeting for this league? I mean, that's got to be bizarre.
It's Godspeed them if it works. Hopefully it does. I mean, I'm all for other revenue streams. I don't want it to fail. I just worry about how much are these people getting paid?
Exactly. I mean, think about Josh Gordon to go from where he was to where he is now. It's precipitous would be the word on that deal.
Well, the word of the day, precipitous, is in the program. Precipitous. All right. Well, you've wasted another 30 minutes on